At T-Mobile, our critical mission is providing unparalleled 5G coverage for when connectivity is mission critical. Introducing T-Priority, America's best 5G network experience for first responders, even in times of congestion. More capacity, faster speeds, better coverage. T-Priority from T-Mobile, built for tomorrow's emergencies, ready today. Discover more at t-priority.com.
For qualifying organizations on eligible rate plans, coverage not available in some areas and may be impacted by emergencies.
You're listening to the Animation Addicts podcast with the Rotoscopers, episode 127, The Secret Life of Pets, aka The Snake in My Pantry.
Welcome everyone to the Animation Addicts podcast with the Rotoscopers. My name is Mason. I'll be your MC and your ghost host and your chat master today. Actually, I'm in control of the coveted Rotoscopers handle on the YouTube chat. And welcome to our podcast. Today, I am here with Chelsea Robson and our special guest host, fellow patron and roto writer for the rotoscopers.com, Rachel Wagner. Say hello,
Hey.
Rachel.
Hi.
Woohoo! This is the first time Rachel has been on the show, and I could have sworn she had been on it before, but because she is such a regular member of like the Roto Nation and the writing and the website and stuff, so we're super glad to have you and to have your perspective on the show today.
Yes,
well, thank you. I'm really honored to be invited.
All right. I know, always an honor. You get to put that on your resume that you co-hosted on the Rotoscopers. Be like, look, you gotta hire me, okay? It says right here I'm on the Rotoscopers. But anyway,
right.
And Chelsea, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine and dandy, a sour candy.
Yeah, so we are the Animation Addicts podcast. We tend to review an animated film every episode, and we try to include our what we call the Roto Nation, which are our patron subscribers. It's because of them that we can do the video format and that we have nice equipment, so we owe a lot to them. So make sure to make your presence known on the chat, or you can go to rotoscopers.com/live, and there's a chat room there as well. We check both. And basically, we're like your three nerdy animation-loving friends, and we're all like sitting on the couch talking about animated films and what we love about them. The music, the artistic style, the voice actors, everything. We try to cover everything. And so to reintroduce the movie, we are doing The Secret Life of Pets. Came out last week. And I saw it on my birthday, which was Saturday. And spoilers, people. We're going to do a full review of the film. So if you haven't seen it yet and you don't want to be spoiled, then turn it off and save us for later. We're like a microwavable bean burrito. You know, you can start us up and then you can kind of leave us alone and we're still good to go, you know? So you can consume us at your
way
leisure.
Better than that.
Yeah, we're like a ground beef chimichanga. And y'all are Deadpool, who loves chimichanga so much, apparently. Well, this was Illumination Entertainment.
It was.
Did y'all catch the new? Do y'all like that new intro or what? Illumination. The little minion dude. Okay, I'm as tired as the minions as a lot of people are, but they never fail to make people laugh when they do that little intro.
Yeah, it's true.
They never fail. But anyway, we got directors Yarrow Cheney and Chris Renaud. I think Cheney, he was I'll have to double check on IMDb. I think he was like a production manager for some of the other ones. Yeah, he was production designer for Moi Despicable Me 2 and the Lorax. And so it's not uncommon to see people who are on the crew to later take a directorial role. And then Chris Renaud, who's Illumination's golden boy, he's their main man. Let's see. Last week came out, $75 million estimated budget, and it's done very well in the box office. We'll see how it does in the long run, but would you guys believe me if I told you that this is the first film to open over $100 million in the United States that wasn't like a reboot or a sequel or not like based on previously published material? This is an original film, not just animated film, is the first ever to open over $100 million in the U.S.
Wait, so is that just for Illumination or in general?
In general, I think.
It's like
whoa,
the film that has made the first to make that much on its opener in the United States.
Wow.
I think that's a combination of this being a truly sucky year as far as a lot of movies have really disappointed people, like Independence Day, and I don't know, just a lot. And also the fact people love their pets.
Yeah.
They do love their pets.
Really
Pets
do.
are such a universal thing, except in countries where they eat what we consider to be pets. But, maybe they'll find some enjoyment out of it. There's a lot of animals in this film. And also, I'm going to let you finish, but I got to... I got to explain to Jeremiah. Jeremiah is having a freak out over here because Morgan is not on. So you'll have to excuse Morgan. She got busy today, and so we had Rachel, who is our awesome writer and has her own podcast too and blog. She's a very well-read and well-versed animation addict like us, and so she was really nice to take up the role of third co-host today. So. That's
no replacement for Morgan, but I'll do my best.
No one can replace anyone. No one's getting replaced.
No one is getting replaced.
Begin the Toy Story references, right?
Right.
So far, started. Okay, I'm really bad at reading these box office numbers, but basically, before I even went there on Saturday, it had it was at 103 million, and so I don't know. Someone go on Box Office Mojo and look that up for me because I'm too lazy.
Wow, that's intense.
I just think there's been so many disappointments that people are just yearning for something that looks good. I just think that makes them like just anything that is good. People are like really supporting. Big time.
Yeah,
I guess more than maybe
honestly
some other years.
Between this, Finding Dory, and The Conjuring 2, you don't really need to see any other films so far this summer. So. Can I give y'all a report of my theater experience? Don't y'all love them?
Before we do that, I did want to give the total lifetime grosses thus far.
Please do.
And this is thus far, not the opening weekend. Opening weekend was 104,000, which is quite a bit. No, I'm sorry, 104,352,905. And that was ranked number 1. And total thus far, it's made over 116 domestic and about 42 million foreign.
Yeah. Illumination, specifically anything centered on the Minions, does very well in the foreign market. And so, Junkie Jones was putting that on chat also. So thank you, Chelsea beat you to the punch. Thank you, Chelsea. My expectations were low going in, but I was pleasantly surprised. I'll start out by saying that.
Yeah, I'll say that as well. I did have low expectations for these. I guess, I don't know. I don't like going in with low expectations, but at the same time, sometimes it's just better for everybody if you do. And I felt like this movie, we'll get into details, but I felt like it started out good, slowed down, and then ended well.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I felt in a whole.
Yeah, I think, they say the secret to happiness in life is low expectations. And so I went into it also with low expectations because I am not a fan of the Minions. Sorry.
So they're guilty by association.
Yeah, so I have not. I really hated 2 of the Illumination's films. I'm not a fan of the Lorax, and I really didn't like Minions. And I think the Despicable Me movies are fine, but I don't love them. And anyway, so I was going in with pretty low expectations, and I kind of liked it. I thought it was charming.
Yeah.
It's not something that's going to be a masterpiece or, I don't know, but I enjoyed it for what it was, and I liked the teaser trailer going into it, so that was kind of encouraging, and I liked it.
Yep. So I went to a 10:20 p.m. screening. All right,
really?
That's late for us.
Yeah.
On a Saturday night,
Grandpa Mason, are you okay over there?
Yeah. paralyzed. But anyway, so we went to a 10:20 p.m., and once the previews are over, that puts you at 10:40, like well after midnight when this gets out. So we were fully expecting that we would manage to go to an animated film on opening weekend without encountering whiny children, to take a book from Professor Umbridge. I really hate children. But people still managed to bring small children to a movie that wouldn't finish until after midnight. But, and this is the big but, luckily, as expected, their poor parenting actually made the kids fall asleep because it was so late, and they really didn't say anything. In fact, the noisiest person in the theater was this dude sitting next to me who must have been on ecstasy or something because he was laughing at every single thing in the film. Like everything, like a walk cycle, he was laughing at that. And so chess my luck, he was sitting right next to me. I'm still in pursuit of the perfect theater experience. So the search is ongoing,
Yes, I see that.
I had a similar experience at Minions when I saw that. There were people I think were drunk. I really do, because they...
You got to go into that movie drunk. It makes it so much better.
That is the secret of happiness right there, apparently.
Yeah, right. But, I had an interesting experience when I saw it. I saw it in the afternoon, and just today, actually, and the kids were moving around so much. And there was even a kid that literally, because I always sit on the end just in case I have to go to the bathroom or something. I don't want to have to walk over people.
Yeah.
And a little girl literally came up and sat next to me on the stair. And she was like, hi. Okay.
She was like, psst, do you have any candy? Can I have some popcorn?
No.
Okay, get your own.
But yeah, it's a problem. I don't know. I've been wanting on my channel to do a video on theater etiquette because the worst experience I had was at the Goosebumps movie. I mean, kids were throwing candy and popcorn and elbowing me, and it was just awful.
Oh man.
So, oh well. What are you gonna do?
Okay. So we had the preview. I had the previews for Sing, the one that everyone else is playing, and then I was very surprised before the movie even began to be blessed with a Minions short.
This episode is brought to you by Prime Video. In the small town of Holland, Michigan, nothing is ever what it seems. Behind the tulip festivals and pretty houses lay dark secrets that threaten to tear a marriage apart. Nicole Kidman stars in this darkly twisted thriller about a wife and mother whose quest to uncover her husband's secrets may get her more than she bargained for. Holland, streaming on Prime Video March 27th.
Let it play out. Let it play through. This is for you, Rachel.
This video has now been blocked in 37 different countries because of this. Blatant.
Nah. I paused it before the 30-second mark. They won't get us.
Okay.
They won't get us. All right. So, plus our audio was over it, and so they're not going to catch us. So anyway, Rachel, that was specifically for you.
Thank you.
And that was specifically for you because I know that you're so passionate about the Minions, and you and I have many arguments as to whether they're even passable as animation or entertaining, and so you might as well loosen up the crowd, right? With mayhem humor. I will be the first to admit Minions is fart jokes and slapstick comedy. Like,
yeah,
there's very little heart. There's very little emotion or stuff to get you emotion, get you sad or happy. It's just laughing. But basically, the point of the short to me was Mower Minions is if you don't like the Minions, then you basically hate old people, Rachel. Nothing else to be said there because all the Minions wanted to do was make a buck.
Hey,
in this
Up
free
is my
country.
favorite movie. I don't think that I can be declared a hating old people.
So you do respect the elderly. Okay, I get you. But, they're just trying to earn a buck in this free country of ours, and nothing else to be said there. So I kind of liked that part of it, making the old people happy. I was like, oh, that's pleasant. And then they want the very American, they want the bigger one that makes them it makes their life even more easier, and they can be even more lazy because it's our God-given right to be lazy, and they go out and get even more money. And so I thought it was cute. There was it went beyond fart jokes. It went to poop jokes, like literally breathing in poop fumes.
Yeah.
They went there.
Multiple poop jokes.
During that part, the guy next to me who was on ecstasy, I believe, just lost it. He lost it. And everyone around him was laughing because he was laughing so hard.
I think the old people liked the Minions in the short because they couldn't hear. Their hearing aids weren't working.
Well, you're right. Minions is very much visual gags. There's very little dialogue because they don't speak dialogue. They have their minionese. Yeah. We got some Minions haters in the chats. Fearless Astrid Hofferson says poop jokes are when you can't write humor that's intelligent. Then what do you call George of the Jungle, huh? You tell me. It's a comedy masterpiece.
I'm liking the chat room right now. Yay.
Junkie Jones agrees. Ernesto Chacon says slapstick rules. You know.
I feel like they have their place.
There's a lot of people complimenting you on your singing, Chelsea, and you haven't even sung anything on this episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
nice.
Y'all gotta hop down to Rockin' R Ranch and go get some Pokemon while you're at it.
Hey, I like slapstick. I mean, I love Looney Tunes so much, but I just the Minions. I don't know. They're just not for me.
Not for you.
Too
All right.
shouty, too dumb.
Well, thankfully we have we have the podcast where we can have a civil and open discussion on things like that without being polarized or triggered. But anyway, so anyway, I don't have much to report on Mower Minions. It was pretty funny in a purely visual, chaotic sense. But you know what? Even by Minion standards, I was a little disappointed in it. Like, the Minions they're not just wacky, they're also cute. There's always a little cute Minion who's doing something, you know? And I didn't really see them. Then there's always the tall one who's, like, over it already and stuff. So I think maybe they just didn't manage their time. Short films are always harder to make than full-length films.
But don't you feel like the Minions need a straight kind of man character to kind of bounce off of to be really funny?
Yeah.
When it's just them, like, spazzing out over bananas, it's just not as funny.
So
you got a good point there.
That is true. I think they could have utilized the old people in this a little better, the geriatric ward, because that would have kept things kind of like, what's going on? They did have a little bit of that in there, but or even just like a random kid just looking at you like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I will say this, Chelsea, Rachel, I was worried about this one. Not the short. I knew what I was getting into. But Secret Life of Pets. I loved the teaser trailer. I wanted the full-length film. I wanted the full-length film to just be these loosely related vignettes of the animals just doing stuff. And I thought the film would have been perfect and kind of avant-garde if it portrayed in that kind of format. But when I saw the new trailers involving like the search and rescue, the kind of the Woody Buzz Lightyear plot, but with dogs, I say that tritely because I don't totally agree, but it did have that in there. But I thought it was going to be something a little contrived. But you know what? I loved this film, and I don't, I like animation. This one I loved, and I loved it because it was just so bright and positive. And I never stopped smiling during the whole thing. Maybe because the dude next to me who had obviously taken ecstasy wouldn't stop laughing at everything. But it was just too cute. Everything from the colors to the way that they made it a pretty much all star-studded cast without annoying me to death. Personally, IMO. I thought it was a super cute movie, and I was very, very just happy during the whole thing. That was my first impression. I came out of the theater smiling.
All right. So there was a point for me where at the very beginning, I was into this. And I felt like every little bit of it, I felt like there was, okay, I get it. I get what's going on. I'm into it. But the moment the people left the story.
Oh, yeah.
that's where things just slowed down a lot for me. And
yeah, but it's a Secret Life of Pets, not pet owners.
I mean, that's
It's
early
true.
on. If you had a problem when the people left, that's
it's
very
true.
early on
It
into
is
the
very
movie.
it is very early on. But I think that was one of the things. Like it kept momentum for a while up until about the cat chase scene, and that was like obviously the very beginning. But I felt like there were a lot of, and I don't want to come off as being just super down about this movie, because by the end of the movie, I felt like it left you feeling really just, how do I say? Basically, for, a pet lover in general will really like this film. And I think that's another reason why, is because pet lovers like movies that justify their loves of pets. So once again, they're going to love this film, because at the very end, it ties it up and you just see all these pets in the windows and you're like, wow, we have a lot of pets in our culture. But you have these warm feelings. And I'm a pet owner. I'm a pet person. And I've had cats, I've had dogs and pets in general. And so it's like, I can feel that. So in the end, I felt like I left happy and I felt like I left well, but there was just a lot of mix-ups for me in the middle.
Mix-ups, huh?
Yeah. Mix-ups.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like I said, I went into it with really low expectations, and I left feeling like it was a cute little movie. I enjoyed it. I think that for me, the underbelly sections didn't really work that well.
The gangsta extremist pets.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm just not that big of a Kevin Hart fan, even in voiceover, I'm afraid. And
oh man, I got some comments on him, man.
And I do agree that I think if they had worked Katie into the story, I think that it would have given it an emotional heft. If she had been shown missing her dogs, that would have really been, especially for dog owners, which I am not. I have to say out front, I am not a pet owner.
We've got a non-pet owner, folks.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Alert.
Them's fighting words.
No, I respect pets. They're fine, but my brother and sister are both violently allergic to all animals with fur and feathers. So
all right,
if I want them to visit, I can't own a pet. So I can't relate to it on that kind of an emotional level, but I think if they had incorporated her missing her pets, I think that would have added to the story a lot. And I did feel like at the end, them trying to, the parts with the former owner of Duke.
Oh, yeah.
I felt that was a miss. And I think they were trying to give emotion, but it didn't work.
That was rushed.
But overall, I thought it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Good. I'm glad you liked it. So the cast for me was a very interesting thing. It's because it's huge and star-studded, like Macho Man Randy Savage's cape. Oh yeah. It's this strange mix of celebrities that are basically playing themselves versus celebrities that are inventing a character. And one of the ones that invented the character was of course Pops, played by Dana Carvey. He made me lose it with one line. How you been, Pops? Paralyzed. I was just like, whoa.
See, oh man, I felt like his character was good, but I didn't like Dana Carvey in this one.
Come on. What were you expecting out of an old basset hound?
Well, no, I felt like he didn't sound old enough. Like, was it just me? I just felt like he didn't sound old. He just sounded like he was trying to be old. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to be like knocking this movie a lot, and I don't want to be, and I'm sorry. But that's just what I'm going to be doing.
I like Pops, and I liked his relationship with Chloe. Chloe, I thought in general was hilarious. I really liked.
I'm not a Jenny Slate fan, but she really takes it up a notch in her animated roles.
Wait, isn't Jenny Slate Gidget?
Then what were you talking about? Oh, Chloe.
Chloe
was
a cat.
Chloe was
that gray cat.
Yeah, I know. Who was she?
It was Maya Rudolph, but I could be wrong.
It's someone who looks like her. You would think, because Maya Rudolph, she literally has a time turner so that she can make it into all these animated films. You are thinking of Lake Bell.
Ah, sorry about that.
She actually starred in a weird kind of pseudo drama thing about voice acting. I don't know. It's called In a World.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that. Anyway, I thought she was really funny. Mm-hmm. I guess I like those kind of disdainful characters sometimes.
I am a cat person, and I totally agree and relate to Chloe's attitude about things.
I'm more of a cat person myself.
And in my opinion, everybody wants to be a cat. Because the cat's the only cat.
Who knows where it's at?
Oh, that was the best karaoke ever. And it also got us banned from several countries.
It did,
but
yes,
anyway,
it did.
Eric Stonestreet as Duke, the oversized, shaggy dog,
His
much
voice
like my own hair. Oh, you know what? He was nigh unrecognizable to me because I'm so used to him like in his more flamboyant roles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting. I think he kind of had this, like, I don't know who he reminded me of, but I recognized him, and I was like, whoa, that's Eric Stonestreet. But it took me a while. Definitely took me a while. All right. We got to let the elephant, and I mean bunny, into the room, and that is Snowball, played by the ever-energetic Kevin Hart. He does not need to invent a character because Kevin Hart is already a character.
He is
like
already
me.
a character.
Yeah.
This podcast is supported by Progressive, a leader in RV insurance. RVs are for sharing adventures with family, friends, and even your pets. So if you bring your cats and dogs along for the ride, you'll want Progressive RV insurance. They protect your cats and dogs like family by offering up to $1,000 in optional coverage for vet bills in case of an RV accident, making it a great companion for the responsible pet owner who loves to travel. See Progressive's other benefits and more when you quote RV insurance at Progressive.com today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Pet injury is an additional coverage and subject to policy terms.
I thought I was going to, judging by the previews, the more theatrical previews, I thought I was going to hate this little guy. But somehow, to Mason, they actually managed to make Kevin Hart not annoying. And I watched the roast of Justin Bieber. I know what Kevin Hart is at his most annoying. And my boy Ricky. I love all his lines. They're just so ridiculous.
Now, I recently saw Central Intelligence with Kevin Hart, and
really?
I thought that, and I actually really thought it was funny, believe it or not. He's kind of, I like him better as sort of the straight man, The Rock was kind of the eccentric one, which was sort of subverting what you'd expect.
Interesting.
And it's not like a masterpiece, but it made me laugh. And anyway, oh man, I can't go with you on this one. I thought he was really shouty. And just
shouty.
And boy, did they have to push that facial rig for him for his animation performance, because he's so nuanced, and he's got these. It wouldn't do it justice. Huh? It wouldn't do it justice. Yeah. They pick up on every inflection, and when he's like, "Oh man, you're talking about the blender, are you? You're talking about the blender," and all that stuff. And just, I'd love to actually learn more about his performance to see like how much improv he did, or if they wrote lines specifically for him. Because sometimes that stuff takes like 60 takes to get right. Yeah. That's an exaggeration. That's like
sometimes
like
it does.
That's something they did. Christopher Knights did one time for the Penguins movie for just one line. And but anyway, I thought that Snowball was cool. He was not an effective villain, because I don't think in the end he was supposed to be a villain. He was just supposed to be this kind of minor antagonist. But the thing about these pets is that they switch loyalties very quickly, or they have this like common thread of loyalty. Like Duke at first hates Max. At
first Duke is like whatever.
Well, he's at first whatever. Then he hates Max and wants to get rid of him because it's like it's either you or me kind of mentality. Because he thinks that. He knows that Max is trying to get rid of him, and that's selfish of Max. And I'll get into that later.
That is selfish.
But as soon as the dog catchers show up, he's like, "Oh no, run from them! I will save you! I will help you!" And he helps him get out of the sewer. When I don't know, that to me, there's never this moment where Max and Duke really came to terms. I think they attempted to do that with Duke's old owner, but there's never like Max was a real jerk. Like he was really trying to get rid of him, and there was never this moment like in Toy Story, for example, where they had an understanding and they decided to stick together. It was kind of this common like enemy of my enemy is my friend. What did y'all think about that?
This has actually been going around quite a bit on the interwebs. On my earlier review I posted a couple days ago, I mentioned something briefly about Toy Story, and then there are like 3 or 4 comments on that video alone that said, I can't believe it's basically Toy Story just with animals. And I can see that. I definitely can see that. And I can definitely see that it didn't quite it didn't quite hit the notes that Toy Story did as far as character development. I felt like they depended a lot on visual gags and visual just things going on for a lot of their story, instead of actually doing like great story development and character development. And it's really hard, especially coming out of, we just saw Finding Dory, and even Finding Dory had such great character development in it. And it didn't hit quite the level of the original, but it was still right at par, I would say, as what Pixar tends to put out. And so I feel like it's like good on Pixar for being so consistent, but at the same time, it's like, man, it's hard for anybody else if you're not going to hit those notes. And it just leaves you wanting this. Like me, I feel like every animated movie should be like that. I should feel the feels. I should feel like I'm invested in a character. Any movie, I feel like I should feel like that. And so I just felt like that was, it tried for an emotional pull with the whole Finding Duke's family type thing, but it didn't quite, the balance, it just got a little jumbled, you know?
Yeah. They should have done a moment where Duke was like, "You don't understand. Jenny was my whole world," and then it goes off into a montage. When somebody loves you, everything was beautiful. I don't know why I went to goofy voice for that one.
Why in goofy voice of all voices?
Because he's a dog, right? Isn't he kind of close to a dog? Yeah.
I just think Illumination is sometimes afraid to let their movies be quiet and allow for like a real conversation and a real moment, even with the villain, like allow kind of a backstory or I don't know, it's just kind of shouty to me. And I think that it would be more effective all around if there were just a few more sort of, let's calm down. And I think that it also would have worked a little bit better if Duke had been a little bit more likable on his entrance, because the thing about Buzz, and Woody hates Buzz because everybody likes him so much.
Yeah.
And with Duke, he's kind of not really allowed to be shown as being sort of a likable dog.
It's true.
And
that's a true statement.
And so, maybe if it like the dog walkers, like Duke had been the big hit amongst all the other dogs or something like that might have worked. And that's like the worst dog walker ever, and, but they did, I thought that a lot of the visual gags worked, and
I didn't say they didn't work.
Yeah. It made me laugh, and I thought it, like I said, it was sort of a fun adventure. But yeah, I think if they had just given a little bit more time to breathe, it might have been a little better.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little time to breathe. Oh, and then one of the voices that I thought was really creepy was Albert Brooks as Tiberius, the hawk
was
or
weird.
pigeon, the falcon.
That whole character was very odd, I thought.
Just close your eyes and think of a really creepy marlin.
Yeah,
the whole design of him, I just thought didn't fit with the visual feel of the rest of the movie to me. But I liked his vocal performance. Okay, it was definitely weird. Yeah, coming off of Finding Dory.
Yeah.
But
anyway, he was really creepy, and he was a creepy character.
Super creepy. And then the fact that he's just like, "I'm always about to eat you." It's just like, why would you want that to be your friend?
Nah. Gidget fixed him up. One thing
speaking of Gidget, I loved Gidget. I thought she was hilarious, she was so
What's wrong,
cute.
Maria?
Yeah, that was so funny.
She's like prancing around and being really excited. Oh, I love at the end when she meets up with Max at the end and her tail's like going like, she's like, "Hey, play it cool back there."
Yeah,
I
thought she was so cute. I really liked her.
Yeah. And Jenny Slate's got a great voice when it comes to these animated films. Like, she really ramps up the intensity and stuff, and she makes for very adorable characters. I thought what I liked about this film was that there are a lot of pet-isms, like pet owners, not like you could relate, Rachel, but actual pet owners, like our elitist selves. There are so many pet-isms that you can recognize, like, and I'm sure obviously anybody would recognize, like when Duke starts threatening Max, and then when he barks, Max gives the submission signal. When dogs roll up on their belly, that means they're submitting to you as alpha.
Oh, okay.
It's true.
But it also means they want you to rub their tummy.
Yeah.
Cats, on the other hand, they're like, come on, rub my tummy. And you start rubbing their tummy, and they bite you. They're like, no, okay, stop. Okay, rub my tummy.
Okay, I'm back.
Stop. Okay, rub my tummy some more. So they're a little more nuanced than dogs, who are very simple on how they love you unconditionally. Cats are like, no, there's infinite number of conditions to my love for you. So I'm saying this to you because I'm your friend, but I'm not interested and I don't care.
It's true.
I did like how they had lots of different kinds of pets. I thought that was creative.
Oh yeah. Oh, and the message that some pets aren't appropriate to have because then you'll just get rid of them when they get too big, or when like the pig, it was like, I was at a tattoo parlor until they ran out of room, and they threw him out when they got rid of all the space to practice tattoos on him. And but I liked how there's this message of like. And it goes along with Finding Dory, their campaign about the blue tang. It's that, look, just because you see these in the movies or in animation doesn't mean that they make good pets. Someday that 48-inch python will turn into a 4-foot python. Wait, that is 4 feet. Well,
yeah.
It'll turn into like an 8-foot python or a 12-foot python, and it'll moida you. And pigs, they require a whole new set of skills to take care of than a dog, although I've heard they're quite similar and probably more intelligent. But it's just kind of this message about like the misfit, downcast animals. Where do you think they go when you get rid of them, And so in that way, Snowball's little revolution is sort of justified to me. But he's also kind of a weak villain because he never really has this like diabolical plot to destroy all humans, It's not like what was that movie, Cats versus Dogs or anything, where the cat is trying to like detonate a bomb or something. He's like a straight up terrorist. Snowball's just a wannabe extremist.
He's just been scarred.
Well, he has that plan.
He does have the plan.
Wow. That's pretty good.
I love it. I think his whole shtick was that he's supposed to be cute, but he's got this very twisted, evil mind. And
I did like the vigil he had, the
for his friend.
Oh, for the Viper.
That was funny.
Oh, and for
the
Ricky.
duck.
Yeah.
My boy Ricky.
My boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
So the revolution, the whole message there is that if you don't intend to keep your pets and take care of them forever, they will go join an underground revolution and they will become extremists and they will come after you.
This is how the system works.
They will learn to drive and they will cause massive accidents.
Fish do it too.
Yeah.
I just felt the underbelly section became kind of generic, where I felt the secret life of pets part was really fun and different. And,
right.
And more creative, and
it got so far-fetched.
Yeah.
It's like, I believe that they're doing all these funny things when I'm gone, but I don't believe this like underground society of mole people animals,
Yeah. And who would ever think we'd have 2 movies in like 2 months where animals drive cars?
Oh, that's right.
True.
It could happen.
Yeah.
Good thing there were no monkeys in this movie. They would have it would have been Planet of the Apes all over again.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just, I also reminded me a bit of Flushed Away. If you've ever seen.
Oh, Flushed Away.
Underbelly,
Yeah.
Flushed Away, yeah.
But I think Flushed Away is a little funnier. But,
wow, really?
Yeah, I do. Aardman, I love their humor.
All right,
true.
all right.
But yeah, yeah.
That was good.
Nice. Okay.
Did you see any of your pets that you've had, Mason, in this film?
Well, we do have a shaggy dog, and we did have a really fat cat, and we take care of a few fat cats at my in-laws' house. But you can see their mannerisms, and we have had a dachshund. Our family has, and so my pets were very well represented. I had a buddy, my best friend growing up, had an iguana, and those things are freaky. One girl in my school had a snake. Don't know anyone who had a pig except for meat purposes.
I like that guinea pig. That was
the
funny.
guinea pig who's like
That just gets
very,
lost.
very clueless and optimistic about everything.
Yeah.
Have I ever told my snake got lost in my house story?
That sounds like the premise to an awesome story.
So we had this. He was at almost 5 feet, 5.5 feet long boa constrictor.
How do you miss something like that?
Holy cow!
Yeah, so we had this giant, and he was in one of those giant cages that we'd built for him. But what happened? Oh, every once in a while, I just thought it was fun to like take him out and let him like climb over some of the like fake trees that we have.
Ooh,
And I
in its
forgot to
natural
put
habitat.
him back. So I forgot to put him back, and I go over there, and I'm like, where'd he go? I don't know. And so there was kind of like, I thought for a while that I was like, okay, he probably got out somehow. Like, I don't know, because there was like, at the time, like we had just put in this door that didn't have a door handle yet, and so I was like, he probably got out the door handle hole, and I was like, crap, where'd the snake go?
Oh my
And it was at
gosh.
least a week before I found him, as I opened up the door to go into our pantry, and he was wrapped around one of the shelves, and his head was about the length of my arm out, just floating in the air from where he was wrapped. And it was right at my face.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
So I open up the door and I walk in, and it's like right here. I'm like, oh
You're like,
my gosh.
Oh, hey, how's it going? Hey, you haven't fed me in a while.
Oh.
I was like, well, glad we found you this time. So I was able to put him away, and we ended up going ahead and feeding him, which again
That's
is
disgusting.
Wow.
That's what I had. I don't think we had a mouse problem, but maybe we did, and he solved it. So I was happy about it.
Holy cow. Wow.
That was
Snakes,
my
man. Why does it have to be snakes?
I think I would pass out if that happened.
I would punch it. I would punch it. That would be my first instinct, and then our friendship would be over.
Our friendship would be over. Well, the thing is, like, I guess we had the snake for so long that there was no. I have no fear of snakes whatsoever. Mice, I do not like mice at all. But I like snakes, and like to be able to pull, like I just pulled him off and put him back and held him around for a while. So I mean, it was like, welcome back, honey.
Of course, snakes, man. Okay, so
I don't know how to be.
can we
snakes.
talk about the? Can we talk about the sausage vision quest thing? The sausage montage.
That was
It's a sausage fest before sausage fest. Like they beat them to the punch.
Oh yeah.
Seth Rogen can go home
sausage party.
now.
Claire is practicing her breathing for her upcoming yoga retreat in Bali. Has she ever done yoga before? No. But Claire worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Join our 19 million customers today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisor Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Om Namaste.
You didn't like it?
I feel like now with Illumination, these are like expected now. We have to have these elaborate dance numbers of small pill-shaped CG objects.
I guess I like things that are like insanely random, and that seemed
was
insanely
insanely
random to
random.
me. And so I kind of dug it. I don't know. It was getting sort of boring to me. So
Yeah.
kind of.
That was a part where I was kind of bored, but
The sausage part bored you?
well, up until that, and even at that part, it didn't help.
It was weird.
You know, from an effects standpoint, it was probably pretty cool to do, but I don't know, man. It was kind of cute. I get it. I don't know. I guess that was their moment when they needed to like bond. You know, 'cause
Yeah.
after that, they're in their sausage stupor and they're like, "Man, you're all right."
Yeah.
You know, they're like, "Yeah, you're cool, man."
Yeah, and that didn't really feel completely earned, but I don't know. It was just weird enough that I kind of thought it was okay.
Yeah. Oh, man. Them's fighting words here on the chat. Fearless Astrid Hofferson says, Sausage Party looks like a slightly upgraded Food Fight. I wouldn't go that far. Have you seen Food Fight? I won't even see that.
I still stand by the fact that Food Fight had a cool premise. Yeah, you get all of the major mascots out there to come together and to have some type of something go on. I thought that was a cool premise, but they killed it.
Anything can be done with good writing, but I haven't seen Food Fight. I haven't put myself through that yet, but...
Dude, we should do a live commentary on it.
That would be fun.
What are they going to do? Sue us for a movie that made nothing? That made negative money?
Maybe.
Well, you just keep the sound out of it, and you just have our voices, and then you tell people to turn on their and watch it at the same time.
Yeah.
So then they get it.
Yeah, I getcha.
Anyway.
Oh, so
yeah, that would be fun.
Here's one thing that confused me a little bit about the film. Maybe one of the major negative things that I found with it. And I did enjoy this film overall, so I would give it a pretty high rating. I don't know yet, but I will arrive at the number when I come to it. It's a film about pets, right? And besides them talking and occasionally driving a car, it's not like they're anthropomorphic or anything. Like, they are very much animals.
Right.
And so there's realism in that sense, but there's also this highly... there's also this kind of highly cartoony aspect to it. But at the same time, the pets get into some really harrowing situations. Like, what was the Viper gonna do to Max? Like, was it gonna bite him? Also Duke leaves Max in a trash can, which in rural areas, that's like a death sentence. Of course, someone might come find him in a busy place like New York, but like, you don't just throw a dog in a garbage can unless you want it to die. And then the whole drowning part at the end, and various other moments where they were near certain death, and I was like, I'm not bothered by this, but I wonder about children who might be bothered seeing something like this, whose pet maybe did die, or maybe they know someone who got bitten by a snake. And I'm not trying to be the overprotective parent, but maybe a devil's advocate for, like, what if the situations they were put in crossed the line from cartoony to a little too real? But because of the cartoony treatment, we were all okay with it. Plus, like, who really thought that any animals were going to die in this film? Not me.
Well, the snake died, but yeah,
but he doesn't count. You'd have to be crazy to own a snake and love a snake.
Have them in your pantry. I have heard actually some complaints about the darker tone, and
Now, it's no all dogs go to heaven. It's nothing like that. There's no guns going off.
Yeah, it didn't bother me, the darker tone, but then I'm not a pet owner, so that may be part of it. I do think it's kind of weird that, like, the owner was just dead. And that, I don't know, that's just sort of weird.
Oh,
That's not really... It's like, oh, and we got to get out of here, because there's these other new people here that are horrible.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, that was sort of strange.
They're not horrible, they just... You never act friendly towards a big dog who's barking at you that you don't know.
Yeah.
Because,
especially me.
Because in the end...
I guess it was the cat animals. That was terrible. The new cat.
It's like Mr. Big said, in the end, we're all animals.
Yeah, that's right.
But anyway.
Yeah, I think the kids can take it. I mean, I
really think they can.
It's if they can handle Jungle Book, which I think is way scarier.
Dude.
Lots of jump scenes.
Shere Khan, man. He's awesome.
Trust in me.
I thought that...
Just in me.
Well, that's Ka. Also, you're singing it like a flapper girl from the 20s. I like it. Close your eyes and trust in me.
Yeah, Shere Khan, you should sing We Your Friends.
Oh, yeah. Friends. That's what friends... I can't even do it. It's like, my voice is too not manly to do that. Yeah. You know what I want to see? Mini tangent. I want to see Chelsea in Prohibition era garb out on a stage singing "Trust in Me," and then a rousing round of that song from The Great Mouse Detective.
Ah, yes.
The mouse stripper song.
I love that song.
It's
so great.
There's no stripping in The Great Mouse Detective.
There is.
She's not stripping.
She starts out with lots of clothes and she ends up with not very many clothes.
Oh,
Well,
That's just called Star Wars Episode 2. Padme loses layer after layer in that film, and no one cared.
Oh dear! If you're using Episode 2 to defend a film, that's not a good sign.
You know me. Apparently, Ernesto Chacon can back me up and fill in for the Shere Khan's note, epic low note on there. I don't know how people do it. Do you go to like a voice school to like? Do you kind of stretch your vocal cords?
no,
Is
you
it
have to be born
hereditary?
with that.
Will I ever get that baritone voice?
Example: Mariah Carey. The reason why she can sing so high is because she's
there's the note.
But she's got something
legendary
that's
note.
not the same as normal people.
You mean she's got a Jolly Rancher lodged in her throat for the past 12 years? That's how she did
Something
it.
like that. Like I don't know the exact story, so do not be throwing a whole bunch of quotes in there saying, "Oh my gosh, Chelsea, you were wrong." But there's something happened in her childhood somewhere or something, I don't know, where a doctor basically said, "Okay, you're not like something is not the same with your vocal cords as with others," and that is why she is able to hit those notes. So that is why this man was able to hit those notes. He was just born with it, honey. Just born with it.
Wow, Shere Khan, man, what a man, just like my man Ricky. But
Speaking of music, I actually really liked all the music and I did not like the music in Minions. I liked the songs, don't get me wrong, but I didn't like the fact that the way they used them I thought was weird. But in this, I thought the cues were really funny, and I thought they actually worked, and I liked the score. I thought it was pretty good.
Does Illumination have a goal to put the song "Happy" into every one of their films?
was that in this film?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, you're kidding.
I mean,
it was in a car.
It was just like a 10-second clip of it, but it was there. And I'm thinking maybe they just didn't feel like they'd paid extra.
Maybe they got a
Pharrell
deal
at the beginning on the
Maybe they got a deal for like 10 years, and they're like, well, we might as well use it.
Yeah, I think they have the rights to it, so they were like
we didn't use up all of the time that we were given for the other movies, so we'll just do it for this one.
But the score was by Alexander Desplat, and I liked it. I thought it was really good. So
I haven't listened to it on its own, so I'll have to go back and listen to that.
Yeah. So,
but I appreciated the different pop songs that they put in here.
I wouldn't know. I don't listen to the radio.
Well, I mean, they had "Welcome to New York" from Taylor Swift on there, which is always a good song. I like it. It's a good song.
Has she ever been to New York?
Yeah, she lives there.
Okay.
Because I know her so well.
I didn't even know all the songs, but I just thought they were funny and worked, as opposed to them just kind of being there.
Yeah.
I thought they were funny.
And it was also interesting that they didn't dedicate the music score to an entire decade, like how Minions really pushed the classic rock from like the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they were in that era.
Yeah. And but anyway, speaking of New York, I thought this film really managed to paint New York in an unrealistic but beautiful light. It was a very cheery, sunny, colorful version of New York City.
Yeah.
And Brooklyn. Everybody's going to Brooklyn. We're not talking about some hipster real estate trend.
Yeah, that was a good line.
I
think it is the best animated depiction of New York City. Throw that out there. I think it's better than Oliver and Company.
I was going to say, even better than Oliver? Come on now.
Yeah, I do. Even though I like that film artistically. But I don't know. I thought it was really beautiful. I thought the skylines and I liked the look of the buildings. I thought they looked cool.
It was beautiful, yeah.
The cityscapes and I liked it.
Yep.
It's no San Francisco, but I thought it was cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, that first establishing shot going through like the city was really great. Like you've got, of course, a lot of that stuff these days is procedural, which is where you just run an algorithm to build your city for you. And then, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was very impressed from the shot, and then it. What else did I like about it? I don't know. It was just a really cool, and it was just a well done environment. Now there wasn't a lot of effects or anything. Like the animals pretty much just walk around and talk, and and that's pretty much what drives the comedy and story. So, and for anyone who's gone to, I don't know, maybe they do this for other theaters, but I know for Cinemark they had like a little spot where you get your Cinemark gift card, and there's this little short where Max runs around and the city trying to get the gift card that was stolen by a pigeon. And that had more action than in this movie.
Was this available in 3D? I didn't see it in 3D.
It was, yes. I did see it in 3D.
Oh, how was that?
Este episodio es presentado por Honda. Descubra la nueva Honda Passport Trail Sport Todoterreno. La Passport más todoterreno que Honda haya imaginado jamás. Esta Passport cuenta con mayor altura al suelo, barras de techo en todas sus versiones y neumáticas especialmente diseñados para cualquier terreno. Además, disfruta todos tus viajes con el control de clima de 3 zonas, techo panorámico y opciones como asientos delanteros con calefacción y ventilación. Conoce más en honda.com/passport.
It's good.
3D.
Yeah. Thing is, with animated movies, I feel like in 3D, generally, I don't remember a movie where I can say, oh, that hurt my eyes or that hurt my head, which kind of happens with a lot of live action ones for me. When they try to do 3D, it's just like too much going on. But this one, they do a really good job of adding the multi-plane camera feel. So it just feels more like depth.
Multi-pane, yeah.
So I like going to animated movies in 3D.
Yeah.
Cool.
So overall, like I said, like I had a very positive experience going into the film. Of course it wasn't perfect. Like, of course it didn't have the best like renderer and animators. Although I really do like Illumination's animation. Like, if you take away the driving force behind the story, like all the mayhem humor and poop jokes, like their animation is very exact and very clear, and in my opinion, it's entertaining. Like, I feel like their animators have really got it down, and I didn't feel like there was a bad animation performance in the film. There was just, there's probably just technical limitations because Illumination's not as far along as other of the giants. Mm-hmm. Or rather, not really the giants, because DreamWorks only has like 2,800 employees. Disney has an entire army.
It's pretty impressive. 75 million. I thought it looked good. I guess I don't know those rendering technicalities.
What was the budget for? I know they produced Minions for less than they produced Despicable Me 2. Let's see. The budget for Minions was 74 million. So this was only slightly more expensive than Secret Life of Pets. And I don't think they like, what kind of merchandise do you market for this film,
Oh, lots.
Really?
Have you walked around? Yeah, have you walked around Walmart lately? I did. I had to buy a river tube.
In fact, in my theater,
Nice.
you could buy Beanie Babies of all the characters.
Really?
Oh, okay. So
Wow.
there is some merchandising.
Lots of merchandising going along with this.
Beanie Babies would actually be kind of fun if people still liked them. Obviously there's some people that still collect them, but it'd be kind of cool to have them.
I still have my collection. Have I added to it since I was 12? Not a single one, but I still have that collection.
Yeah, there you go.
I still laugh
cute.
at the be a good boy, Leonard. A little System of a Down.
I don't see how they're gonna use it in the in Universal Studios and things like that. Like, seems like it'd be a weird looking mascot to take pictures, a character.
It just reminds me of
a giant dog.
Well, it just reminds me of there was a quote on the podcast at one point in time where Mason said, it's always Mason that says the funny things, so I'll give you that. But he was like, wouldn't it be great if they had like just real life Dalmatians running through the parks for 101 Dalmatians?
Yeah,
They're just like going everywhere. I was like, that's what this would be.
Yeah.
Just have a cat just being like, ew.
So anyway, it resolves pretty quickly. All in a day's work for Max and the gang. Everybody gets home safely. The end, and the owners don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, Katie gets back and...
Yeah. And
she doesn't even notice they don't have their collars. I thought maybe she might be like, where are your collars?
That's true. Well, maybe the sequel is the quest to find their collars because they're imbued with magical powers.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway. I liked the party that they had at the end. Did anyone else catch the Andrew WK in the end? He's a famous Andrew WK. He's a famous New Yorker. He's like a rock musician.
Oh,
all his songs are about partying.
Oh, well,
his first album was
There you
called.
go.
His first album was called. What's it called? It's called His first album was called Party. Oh no, his first album was called I Get Wet. But the tracks were like, it's time to party, party hard, party till you puke, party, party, party. Like,
Wow.
yeah, party, party, party was a special track he did for Aqua Teen Hunger Force. But all of his songs are about partying.
Wow.
Sounds like a fun guy.
Yeah,
Sounds
he
like
is
a
a
party.
fun guy. Anyway, I
thought it was a
totally
good
enjoyed
film.
it. I thought it was fun, and I thought it was positive, and that's actually what I've come to expect from Illumination. I haven't seen the Lorax. I don't plan to, so I'll just say that all the ones that I have seen from Illumination have been really positive.
I've always liked Illuminations. They've always done a really good job, I think. Well, I mean, in general, with creating a quality product.
I think they're solid.
Yeah, they do a solid job.
Maybe not everyone likes their films like like Pixar or Disney. Maybe they're not universally loved.
Right.
But I think that they're solid.
I think that they have moved forward as far as like trying to create a brand, because Pixar, they have created a brand. They have created this something to expect, an expectation. Disney for sure has an expectation, and nobody else really has a clear shot expectation, but I think that they're starting to get one. DreamWorks.
You think more than DreamWorks?
I think DreamWorks has an expectation-ish, but not as concise as the other two. I feel like DreamWorks, because they've had such a range of films, they haven't had like a 1-2 punch. It's like when somebody comes out with a really good album, they have to have their first and second songs being the big ones, the ones that everybody kind of jumps into. And then on the third song, it's got to be like really good too. And then at that point in time, you kind of see them as they are that person, as opposed to, oh, I remember that song. I liked that song. You have to have like consecutive ones that are just like boom, boom, boom. And I feel like that's probably one thing that DreamWorks, I mean, they've had good ones, but they've also had things that haven't hit home as well as others.
They've had stinkers.
Sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. This is my favorite Illumination by a considerable margin, for sure.
Yeah, good deal.
I liked it.
Okay.
Much better.
Did you guys get the Easter egg from the movie Sing?
That's what I want to talk about. Okay, so can we stop for a minute and just talk about what we think about Sing from what we've seen so far?
I don't know. I feel like there's a way to do it right, but I feel like if they, I don't know. See, like, I feel like kind of the building a movie around the game show of a singer is something that should have been done like 10 years ago.
Well, they already did it with Shrek 2 after the credits.
True. But I mean, this is like the entire movie is based around this. And I think at this point, if they go at it in a way of saying like, hey, we understand that this is faux pas, but we're going to do it anyway, then it'll be funny.
Faux pas, get it?
Faux pas.
Because they're anthro? Yeah.
I have two minds about Sing. One, I do agree about the contest, but I'm okay with that. But and the jukebox musical is but I'm okay with that too. But the whole save the theater, that to me is more played out than the singing contest. This save the school, save the theater, save the restaurant, save the barn, save the you've seen that a million times.
Rockadoodle, gotta save the barn.
Yeah. Well, it's in Home on the Range. They got to save the farm, and so that part of it is like, oh. But I really think this character of Rosie, the pig, that's like what a great character this could be for an animated film, to have like kids having a character that's like a frazzled housewife. That's like so interesting to me. And that maybe they could actually look at maybe their moms in a different way if this character's done right. Not saying their moms are all frazzled housewives, but I don't know. I just think this could be a really interesting sort of experience for kids to see maybe their mom in a new light that they might not have seen before. And so I'm really intrigued about that character particularly. And so I'm kind of hopeful about it.
I think you hit the nail on the head there, because it would be one thing to just make a full-length film on a cheesy singing contest. I think what they're trying to do is make it like there's something at stake here. And they really do it with that gorilla from Britain. With his thing, because he has lived a life of crime, and it's expected of him from his father. And in fact, you see in the preview that his father is very disappointed that he wants to chase his dream in this contest. And apparently there's going to be something where he's basically leaving his dad on the hook. And so I think that stuff like that will resonate with people. And I think that the fact that it, like the little piggy housewife, like she has something at stake because she's obviously ignored and underappreciated at home. Her you see that her husband, I think, is probably voiced by Nick Offerman, and he doesn't really care, and so I don't know. I think they're going to introduce some characters that there's like the tiny mouse who's like, that prize money, it's mine. I love he's so intense. And then, of course, they're going to have the crazy, slightly creepy characters that you're supposed to laugh at, like the one pig, And so, I don't know. It's going to be really interesting. As far as anthropomorphic movies go, I'm gonna see it because it'll be interesting to see something less dark than what Zootopia was. Not that Zootopia didn't have its lightheartedness or its happy points, but I just feel like Illumination's films on the whole are a little more bright and positive. And, to some people that would be like, that might make the story weak or might, make their films less accessible or less like mature, but I don't know. I kind of like that stuff as well. I don't discount the value of that.
It comes out on Christmas Day, which I think will be fun to see a comedy on Christmas.
And smart.
Yeah, and everything else that's coming out during that time is pretty dark. You've got Rogue One, which is supposed to be a pretty dark Star Wars movie, and you have Passengers, which is a dark sci-fi movie, and Assassin's Creed, which is a dark...
More like Assassin's Crud.
Yeah. So I think that it could be a real upper, hopefully.
Yeah.
And I have no problem with comedies for kids. What's wrong with that?
Nothing. Just don't say that animation is for kids or I'll beat you up.
No.
All right. We had a Twitter listener question, and we asked, who is your favorite character in The Secret Life of Pets? We had two answers. One of them was Leonard. And the other guy...
Be a good boy, Leonard.
Be a good boy, Leonard. And the other guy said Woody, so... Okay, thanks. We had someone who talked about Gidget up there.
Gidget! Yay!
Oh, Jeremiah, who has not. Jeremiah said he's not seen it, but from the trailers he really likes Gidget. She's appealingly animated, has a charming voice, and her jokes get a chuckle from me. And I agree. Like, she was one of my favorite characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she rocks.
I really liked Snowball, but I also liked I liked the pig, and I liked Gidget. Gidget was probably my favorite.
I liked Gidget too. She was cool. But then, I mean, there's always the really creepy Marlin voice bird.
Oh yeah, that was Albert
weird.
Brooks guy.
Yeah, Gidget and Chloe were my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Chloe was great. The rest of the cast was kind of useless. I mean, there was the dachshund that could go up high, but I think that was Hannibal Buress. And some of the other casts, I think they could have just kind of not had them come along.
Just leave them at home.
Max was cute.
Yeah.
All right. So, what would y'all rate this?
The PC gave us computing power at home, the internet connected us, and mobile let us do it pretty much anywhere. Now generative AI lets us communicate with technology in our own language using our own senses. But figuring it all out when you're living through it is a totally different story. Welcome to Leading the Shift, a new podcast from Microsoft Azure. I'm your host, Susan Ettlinger. In each episode, leaders will share what they're learning to help you navigate all this change with confidence. Please join us. Listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm going to give it three solid stars.
3 very solid stars. All right.
Me next. So I have to give them some credit because I think it's their best movie. So I'm going to be generous, and I'm going to go 3.5.
3.5. Awesome. I'm going to be super generous and give it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I probably would see it again, and it's something that I would like see with my family and show my kids if I had them. And so I really think that, like, it's not often you see a film that's this bright and this positive that is so successful.
Yeah.
Think of all the lower budget family animated comedies that come out on video and don't get or they aren't theatrically released. They just kind of hover in the home market. And, sometimes I defend them because I love an underdog, but other times I'm like, you know what? It's great that kids can come to a movie and see a film that's this positive. Like, I don't think there was anything in the film where I would have been like, well, I don't know if I would let kids see that, or oh, great, they're pushing that agenda, or something like that. Like, it was just an entertaining and funny family movie.
I mean, this is a lot better than Angry Birds.
Talk about overhyped. Oh, freaking Angry Birds. Yes, very well said. This was miles above Angry Birds.
Rotoscopers. My name is Kelsey. I am an aspiring animator in Minnesota, and I was calling just to thank you guys for everything you do and to comment a little bit on The Secret Life of Pets. So I actually haven't seen this movie. I have to admit, I'm a little bit Illumination Entertainment. I'm a little bit out of the loop with them right now because of Minions. I know I want to support animation in all of its forms, as I am an aspiring animator like Nathan, but there was a lot of butt jokes, and I know there's a place for that, and but it was really hard for me to place Minions in the same bracket as like Inside Out and all these beautiful films by Pixar, and then the bunny, I guess, was the main turnoff for me in the little the advertisement for Secret Life of Pets, because of course there's the poop joke and everything, and it's fine. I know that there is a place and kids love that kind of thing, but I guess my question for you is there a place for, like, sort of deviation between kids movies specifically aimed at kids, and more of the family movies like Pixar, the Finding Dory, The Good Dinosaur, Inside Out, those that have a little bit more of a deeper sense of humor, a deeper meaning to it than something like Minions, which is very much about the side characters and the butt jokes. So I wanted to know if you find, a delineation between those two, if you divide them in any way, or if you bracket those all together, because I do think there seems to be quite a divide there. Thanks so much. I love everything you guys do, Mason. I love all of your nerdy animation knowledge, and I really love Chelsea and Morgan's appreciation for story and themes, and I love hearing your guys' opinions. Thanks again. Bye.
Hi, Rotoscopers. This is Hannah, leaving my thoughts on The Secret Life of Pets. I enjoy it, but it could have been a lot better. The trailers made it look a lot more entertaining than it was. It ended up just being a Homeward Bound type story. And that's not a bad thing, it's just I was expecting something else. I didn't particularly care for Max and Digit. Not Digit, oops, Duke. I feel like the side characters were a lot more entertaining, and I would have rather had the film all about them. Snowball, Digit, all those. And as a pet owner myself, I take issue with the fact that her name slips my mind, I apologize, that Max's owner decides to get a much bigger dog in a tiny apartment. So obviously there's going to be territorial issues. But that's just me. Overall, I'd give the film 3 out of 5 stars. And as for your show, I'm going to give it 4.75 stars out of 5 because I need more ThunderTube. Anyways, thanks for being awesome. Hannah.
We're so glad that you guys were able to join us today. What is our next film? I'm looking it up.
I think it's Ice Age.
It is Ice Age Collision Course, which I will be seeing that tomorrow. Morgan and I will be going to see that tomorrow, and we should be having a good old time with that.
Have any of us seen the previous 4 films? All of them?
I have seen not all of them.
I've seen 1 and 2, and I only recognize about half of the cast right now. Everybody has a girlfriend.
Yeah. I did
3
see
and 4 are rough.
3.
Yeah. There was a dinosaur one, right? And then there was like a plate tectonics one, or was that the climate change one?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up. But I will be seeing it tomorrow, so we'll move that way. For show notes,
it's their cash cow. They got to do it.
Yes. So if you've seen any of the Ice Age movies and you're like, hey, I want to see this, definitely go see them. And give us your review on voicemails. Go to rotoscopers.com/voicemails or give us a call at 406-646-6575. Also, you can find all of the Rotoscopers notes and show notes for this movie. It's going to be posted. The audio version will be posted next Friday, and it will be available for you at rotoscopers.com/127. Be sure to make comments on there and let us know your reviews and your opinions and everything. And if you are tweeting about this or posting this on social media anywhere, make sure to use the hashtag AnimAddicts or AnimAddicts127.
Wow, 127.
Woof. Look at us go.
We did it, folks.
We still do we've had quite a few purchases of our Roto shirt, and I still have some left. So definitely take a look. Go to rotoscopers.com/store to buy yours because you want to sport that. Subscribe to us on iTunes. We're also available on Stitcher Radio, Hypable, Animated Views, social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr. Everything you want to know. You can find us, Rotoscopers. Individually.
Awesome.
My name is Chelsea Robson. You can find me at ChelseaRobson, Chelsea Robson, on Twitter, on my website, also Instagram and Snapchat. But Snapchat, you'll have to do Chelsea M. Robson.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What about you, Rachel? Do you have how do we get a hold of you on social media?
Yeah, so I am. My YouTube channel is Rachel's Reviews. And my website is 54 Disney Reviews. And then I'm at Smiling LDS Girl at all the social medias. And also, I just want to give a quick plug on the Rotoscopers website. We've been reviewing all the Disney canon films.
That's right.
And all the writers. And so they're really good. Definitely make sure to check those out.
Yeah. Can I just say this? We have the best writers ever. We have the best website staff.
They've been awesome. I really loved reading them. So
we're also, if you are interested in becoming a writer, we do have that available. You can check out the website for more info on that, on how to apply to be a roto writer.
Yep, you'll go through a gauntlet of requirements and interview processes. You will be grilled on your knowledge of animation. You will swear your allegiance to us with a blood pact. And that's just standard procedure with us.
Yeah,
So anyway, again, shout out to our fabulous patrons. If you want to learn more about how to support the Rotoscopers, you go to rotoscopers.com/Patreon or rotoscopers.com/patron. You can make a monthly contribution and enjoy awesome Roto perks like the Roto Nation super secret Facebook group. That's where we all talk every day about animation. It's like our secret club. And we're like Scientology. You pay us enough money, you can get closer access to us. But we also, thanks to our patrons, we can do this video format, and we have our nice equipment. and we can go out and see the newly released animated films when they come up. And we also do patron choice. When we are not covering recently released films, we are covering what you choose us to cover, meaning you, the patrons. And so if you want to be a part of that action, then learn more about how to support us on rotoscopers.com/patron.
We didn't mention your social media, Mason. Just throwing that out there.
At Mason SMTX on Twitter and Instagram. And then I do have a website, masonsmithportfolio.com. You can check out my student work and give me a job if you're from DreamWorks or Pixar or Disney. Or
Illumination.
Yeah, or Illumination or Real Effects up in Dallas. Boy, would I love to be a Dallas snob. Ride around in a Mercedes.
You would be a great Dallas snob.
I would. I'd put longerns in front of on the grill of my car.
There would be no reason for you to cut your hair ever at that point.
Oh,
you just let it flow in the air as you're
just
driving
call me the
down.
Shaggy Dog. No newsy caps for me. I'm going to be one of those different animators, with a full head of hair.
There you go.
Yeah,
No,
there you go.
I won't be. I swear, as long as I'm an animator, I won't wear any newsy caps or tight black V-neck shirts.
But until then, no promises.
No promises. And after that, when I'm retired and I'm like 70 years old, then I'll wear them all the time.
Bring them out.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We love you guys. We love the people on chat. And I think we have like 24 viewers, so I guess people really wanted to learn more about Secret Life of Pets. So they're sharply declining now that we're wasting time with the ending. So thank you, everybody, for listening. Until next time, we are the Rotoscopers. Hold on. There's a Dragonite right outside my door, and I have to catch it real quick.
Oh no!
I'm just kidding. I don't have Pokemon Go, but it's officially sweeping the entire world. And I heard that they put a gym in Rockin' R Ranch, Chelsea.
Yes, they did. So, so I perform on the weekends, and the place that I perform is called the Rockin' R Ranch. It's in Mesa, Arizona. And so they also do a lot of private events there. So you got a lot of people that are always coming in, checking in, doing whatever. And so apparently there is an algorithm. Google knows everything about us. And they know where people are. They know where people hang out, where randomly go and show up. They just know. And so the Rockin' R Ranch is one of those places that people end up frequenting quite frequently. And
wow. Sounds like you're really popular.
Enough that they put a gym right in the place where I sing every weekend. And so it's basically at my house.
But that's good, right? That means that you get more traffic, when you perform.
You would think so. It's just really funny just because you'll see all these large groups of kids walking around with their phones just like this and not talking to each other. They're in a large group, but they're just like, they're like, oh, look, you got him over here? Oh, okay, yeah. It's just like, oh my gosh. And I've seen these pictures on Twitter where they're like, oh, Pokemon Go for paying customers only, and I really want to put one up there.
Dude, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, you got to defend. It's your property, like it's not public, and you don't want to deal with like 50 high school, college age kids running around mispronouncing Rattata and thinking it's Ratatat all day. And so Pokemon Go, man, I don't know. I almost feel like we should do a whole nerdy couch discussion on it, just because it's such a cultural and technological phenomenon. But
it really is pretty incredible,
for better or worse. Yeah. So anyway, I forgot to explain what the show is even about. So if you're new here and you've just listen to us ramble about Pokemon Go, like